I first met Lena Santos 2 years ago, but we had never been close. She worked in the same building, 2 floors above my office, and the extent of our interactions had always been polite smiles in the elevator and the occasional small talk about deadlines or the weather. She was the kind of woman who carried herself with a crisp, self-possessed confidence, stylish, composed, and hard to read. The type who seemed to know exactly where she was going and how to get there. Which is why I was confused when she emailed me out of nowhere one Thursday morning. The message was short, almost abrupt. Can you meet me for coffee today? It's something personal. Please. There was no context, no explanation. Just that. I stared at the screen longer than I should have, debating why someone like her would need something from someone like me. Eventually, curiosity won, and I replied. 2 hours later, I was sitting across from her in a quiet corner of a cafe near the office. She didn't waste time. I need you to be my date, she said. No greeting, no warm-up. Just that line, clear, calm, and delivered with an intensity that made me straighten up. Your date. I repeated, unsure if I had heard correctly. Yes, she said. For a family event. Just one night. She paused, fingers tapping against her cup. A wedding. My sister's wedding. I blinked. Of all the things I expected, relationship advice, help with a work problem, even a personal favor, this was not on the list. Why me? I asked. She took a breath, exhaled slowly. Because you're safe, she said, eyes locking onto mine. Because you're not involved with anyone in my family. You don't know their drama, and you won't make things complicated. I tried to process that. Being chosen for being safe didn't exactly flatter me, but the seriousness in her expression told me this wasn't a casual request. Okay, I said cautiously, but why do you need a fake date at all? Her shoulders stiffened. For the first time since I'd sat down, she looked away. The mask she always wore, professional, poised, controlled, slipped just enough to show a hint of something raw underneath. My ex will be there, she said quietly. And his fiancée. Oh, that explained part of it. And, she continued, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, my mother believes I'm still hung up on him. She worries. A lot. I just need one night where no one questions me, no one pities me, no one gives me that look. She steadied her gaze again. You would help me avoid that. There it was, the real request. Not a date. A buffer. A shield. A temporary lie to protect her from a deeper truth she didn't want exposed. I understood that more than I wanted to admit. Lena, I said carefully, are you sure you want to involve someone from work? Yes, she said immediately. I trust you. And you won't twist this into something else. Her lips lifted in a quick, almost embarrassed smile. Besides, you clean up well. My heart did an unexpected, and frankly inconvenient, drop. All right, I said finally. I'll do it. Relief washed over her, softening her features in a way I had never seen. She looked almost vulnerable. Thank you, she said. But there's something you need to know before you agree fully. I frowned. What is it? She hesitated. Her fingers tightened around her cup. Her voice, usually sharp and steady, lowered. My family, they don't know the real reason my ex left. She swallowed. And if you're going to stand beside me that night, you deserve to know the truth. The air shifted. The cafe noise faded. Her next words would change everything. Ethan drove home after talking to Emma, but her confession clung to him like a second heartbeat. He kept replaying the moment she whispered the truth, the moment her voice broke. He had never seen her look so vulnerable, and something inside him had shifted in a way he was not ready to admit. By the next morning, he was parked outside her apartment complex, unsure if he should knock or turn around. Before he could decide, Emma stepped out of the building. She looked tired, her eyes shadowed from crying, but she still managed a faint smile when she saw him. You came, she said softly. You asked me to, Ethan replied. I'm not going anywhere. She nodded, tucking her hair behind her ear. My dad wants to see us. Both of us. He probably knows I told you. Ethan felt a knot form in his stomach. Caleb Hawthorne was a man who commanded entire rooms with his presence, and Ethan had never imagined facing him like this, connected to Emma through something fragile and painfully real. They drove in silence to her father's townhouse. When Caleb opened the door, he didn't look angry. He looked older, worried, almost relieved to see Ethan standing beside her. "Come in," Caleb said. His voice was steady, but Ethan could hear the strain beneath it. Inside, the three of them sat in the living room. No one spoke at first. The air was thick with everything unsaid. Finally, Caleb looked at his daughter. "Emma, you should have told me sooner." She dropped her gaze. "I didn't want you to treat me differently." "I'm your father," he said. "I'm supposed to care." Emma's lip trembled, and Ethan instinctively reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. Caleb noticed, but instead of reacting with suspicion or anger, he simply nodded, as if he understood more than he let on. "We need a plan," Caleb continued. "Denial won't help you." Emma sighed. "I don't want treatment yet. Not until after the gala. I just want one night where people see me as normal." Caleb turned to Ethan. "And what do you think?" Ethan hesitated, not wanting to overstep. But if he didn't speak now, he knew he would regret it. "I think she deserves that night," he said. "But she also deserves to fight. And she doesn't have to do it alone." Emma looked at him with surprise, then something deeper, something that unsettled him completely. Caleb leaned back, studying Ethan. "I asked you here because she listens to you. More than she listens to me these days." Emma flushed. "Dad." "It's true," Caleb said. "You trust him. I can see it." Ethan's pulse hammered in his chest. He didn't know what to say. He didn't even know how to breathe under Caleb's steady stare. "Ethan," Caleb continued, "if you're going to be part of this, then I need to know you won't disappear when it gets hard." Ethan met his eyes, steadying his voice. "I won't walk away from her." Emma inhaled sharply, as if the promise struck something inside her. Caleb gave a slow, approving nod. "Good," he said, "because she's going to need someone who sees her as more than her diagnosis." A silence followed, heavy and intimate. For the first time, Ethan felt the weight of what he was stepping into. It wasn't fake. It wasn't casual. It wasn't simple. On their way out, Emma slipped her arm through his. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Thank you for staying." He looked at her, seeing both fear and hope in her eyes. That combination broke something open inside him. "Always," he said, and for the first time, he meant it in a way he couldn't take back. The night of the gala arrived faster than either of them expected. Ethan stood outside Emma's apartment door, straightening his tie for the 5th time, trying to calm the pressure building in his chest. This was supposed to be a simple charade, a favor, a fake date. But tonight felt like a moment that could change everything. Emma opened the door before he could knock. For a second, Ethan forgot how to breathe. She wore a soft silver gown that caught the light and made her look almost unreal. But it wasn't the dress that stunned him. It was the quiet strength in her eyes, the way she seemed to be holding herself together with invisible threads. "You look beautiful," he said, unable to hide the emotion in his voice. She smiled, small and fragile. "And you look safe." He didn't know what that meant, but he understood the weight behind it. They drove to the event, the city lights flickering through the windows. Emma stayed quiet, looking out at the passing streets, her fingers tapping nervously against her dress. Ethan finally reached over and took her hand. She let out a shaky breath, but didn't pull away. Inside the ballroom, everything sparkled: chandeliers, polished floors, expensive laughter. People turned when they entered, whispers spreading quickly. Emma lifted her chin, pretending she didn't see any of it. Ethan stayed close, letting her lean into him when she needed to. Halfway through the night, Ethan noticed her hand trembling slightly. Her breathing tightened. It was subtle, but he caught it immediately. "Do you want to step outside?" he whispered. "I'm fine," she insisted. "Just stay with me." So he stayed. They greeted donors, smiled for photos, made small talk. But every time Emma's strength faltered, Ethan felt it like a bruise inside his chest. and each time, he steadied her without a word. Later, during a quiet moment on the balcony, she finally let her guard slip. "Ethan," she said softly, "I didn't choose you just because my father liked you. I chose you because you already felt like someone I could trust." He swallowed hard. "Emma." She looked at him, tears gathering in her eyes. "I was scared to tell you about the diagnosis because I thought you'd see me as broken." "I don't," he said. "I see you as someone who's fighting. Someone who's stronger than she knows." Her breath trembled. "You don't have to stay. You didn't sign up for this." "I didn't sign up for caring about you either," Ethan said. "But I do." For a moment, the whole world seemed to fall silent. Emma stepped closer, her eyes searching his face as if she were reading something she'd been afraid to believe. Then she whispered, "I don't want this to be fake anymore." Ethan's heart dropped and rose all at once. He brushed a tear from her cheek. "Neither do I." She leaned into him, and he pulled her gently into his arms, feeling her melt against him like she had been waiting for this moment just as long as he had. The city glowed behind them, but he didn't see anything except her. When they returned inside, Caleb watched them from across the room. There was no anger in his eyes, no suspicion, only relief. He nodded at Ethan, a silent approval. Later that night, at her apartment door, Emma stopped before going inside. "Ethan," she said, voice full of something raw and real, "I'm scared of the future. But I'm not scared if you're in it." He took her face in his hands, steady and sure. "Whatever comes, you won't face it alone." She closed her eyes as he kissed her, slow, gentle, full of every feeling they had been holding back. What began as a fake date had turned into something neither of them could walk away from. And for the first time in a long time, Emma felt something she thought she had lost: hope.